What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol SNAP for Snap Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will of course be an update. We talked about it as it was getting demolished on the Facebook earnings, but on their own earnings, I mean, look at what happened here. Big rebound back to the upside. I believe some people call this an island reversal or a sort of abandoned baby reversal. There's a ton of names for it. Regardless, if you just think about the psychology here, anyone who is short late to the party sort of piling in on the downside, all of those people are now proven 100% to be wrong because all of the price action is far above those levels. So we're not looking for a short squeeze to take this thing quote unquote to the moon. And I say that very sarcastically, but we are looking for some more added buying pressure, something that would be, more than what we would consider regular, right? So let's scrunch out the chart a little bit and look for the next big areas of resistance to contend with. I of course see this. This is like the first thing my eye is drawn to, that resistance trend line there. And even there's a secondary coming from that high, doing something like this. You can see we're sort of trying to resolve that right now. So if that one breaks, I would just imagine that the next one becomes the target here, closer to roughly 45. And also, if we tie that in with some horizontal areas, right, and do something like this, it's just kind of at that area there as well. Maybe it's a little bit early, right? So it's 43.85, 44, about a buck early, right? So you can see prior support, then turning to resistance on the lower high from here to here. That would probably be my first target where you would want to reevaluate the chart to the long side. If you want to be long on this stock, then what's your sort of line in the sand? I would just watch for continuous higher lows, right? So something that continues to respect that support trend line right there. We, of course, need to see the breakout up and over 40 roughly for this to continue to our upside target. So to me, that's really the trigger point if you're not already long and you're looking for an entry, 39.50, 40-ish area. If we can start closing 30-minute bars above there, that to me would give me a little bit more confidence that the 44 target could be on the table. In terms of what happened today, fairly interesting. We obviously gapped down, but we filled the gap and we sort of consolidated just below the gap fill on today's session. So the question becomes, do we get back into that range? So here's a couple of things that need to happen. First one would be, let's get that bigger on the screen. There we go. So the first one would be, we need to recapture 37.67. If that does, fine, look for more acceptance in this range, and then the break to happen up and over 39.50. If we can't get back up and over this level, then start to look at this as lower highs, a failure on the gap fill, and then we can look for a breakdown of the support trend line to maybe take us lower to the top of this craziness gap from in here, maybe even start looking at this level right here. I mean, there's a ton of things going on the chart. I'm going to remove the support trend line. You can add that back in if you like it, but anything underneath here, right, the 34 quarter, there's technically a massive gap there. Right? So there's this gap, and then there's this gap from their own earnings announcement. So be mindful that very, very little structure exists underneath 34 quarters. So that's what I'm watching out for here. It's all going to depend on this pivot around 37.67. Do we break back in and okay, look for the longs, or do we reject? In that case, either stay far, far away from longs, or maybe even start scouting for some shorts. There we go. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.